Welcome back to Get a Grip on Lighting. Today's show, we have the great and mighty Tom Butters. He doesn't need an introduction if you listen to Get a Grip on Lighting very much. He's been on a lot. He's one of our number one guests. He's worked for the IES. He's the founder of the Lighting Agora. He's putting on the educational tracks at Canada Light Expo. So we're going to talk about those things in a minute. But before we do, Greg, we got to talk about Baron Lighting Group, baronltg.com. What do you got?
Yeah, and one of their lines is specifically Exitronics and their emergency exit products. Don't forget about that when you're out in the field. You can sell that all day, every day. They even got a Guardian G3 system that makes management of emergency lighting simpler, faster, and safer with an online system to get it done. I love it, man, and I'm selling a lot more emergency and exit because of Baron, so thank you guys.
You know what the thing about Baron Lighting Group is, baronltg.com, is that they're one of those companies where there's a company on top and then they have sub-brands. And the brand we're talking about right now is their Exitronics brand. Guys, I think they're top drawer, Greg, when it comes to emergency lighting. I can't think of anybody. Like, everyone's got a little bit of emergency lighting, but baronltg.com has it all. And they're the pros. I think they invented it or something like that, too, didn't they?
Yeah,
There's something like that. Yeah. And of course, the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. You know, sometimes we store these shows and we put them out later. So I'm not sure if this is going to go up before the convention. Producer, is it going to go up Monday? Or when is it? He's looking, he's checking. But our convention's coming up. It's going to be an amazing convention in St. Paul, Minnesota. Maybe it already happened when this came out. So sometimes we would pre-record, guys. NAILD.org. If you got light bulbs in a warehouse and you sell them over the counter, this is your association. Go to nail.org. Welcome back, Tom Butters.
Hi, good to be back. Hi, how you doing, guys?
Good. The Agora, the Lighting Agora. So I think you're 3 years in now, something like that.
4.
4 years in. Yeah, I remember talking about it. Wow, the time flies. So the Lighting Agora, you founded it to bring together educators in lighting. And what has changed over 4 years from what you thought it was originally going to be to what it is now?
That's a really good question. And what it is now, I'm hoping, is not what it will be in 2 years. There's going to be total growth, and we're keeping things flexible. We've got a lot of when it was first launched, the idea was to be like a one-stop shop to provide education and marketing and website design and all of that type of aspect. We've had a number of projects from a marketing perspective that our people who have that experience have done a fabulous job. And we do mostly speaking. However, we do mostly speaking and education now. So over the last year and a half, we've really generated a lot of traction as far as education is concerned. So we're pretty busy all year now.
Okay, so you obviously are all the late great Paul Hafner. We all remember him and love him. He pounded us with education. When you joined Nailed, he was a pretty big guy, actually. I'm short, but he's
a big guy. He was a very big guy, yeah.
He was a big dude, and he'd put his big arm around you and say, "What are you getting your LC, Colligan? What are you doing? You finished that LS1?" And he would get on everybody's case in the association to be educated, to educate their people. And I think and I don't want to go down this track, but I think our industry switched to product certification as opposed to really focusing on developing the people. I think it's a big mistake. Tom, how important is lighting education in 2025? It seemed like we felt like it was more important in the past. In the old days, it was like demanded of you that you educate yourself. And now it seems like people are leaning on certifications and other things. Why should lighting professionals be educated?
Well, I mean, I believe they should. The time for education is now, more than ever before. I mean, I'm not just saying that because that's my industry. I'm saying that because as things change, and our industry, like you guys have been around long enough. Our industry was a slow mover, like an ice berg or something. It was just slow moving, and then all of a sudden LEDs come out, right? And now it's a fast moving industry. Things are changing left, right, and center. And if you don't keep yourself educated, then you're relying on a salesperson to educate you. And if you're relying on a salesperson to educate you, their first job is to sell, not to educate. And I'm not saying that salespeople will purposely mislead a customer. However, I will say that their job is to sell what they have, right? So what my job is to make sure that the client understands what it is that they're getting and to be able to compare it with other products.
I
So
know,
I
Greg.
think now is more important than ever.
So I see Greg's ready to jump in here, but I just want to make one more point. Like when Nail does education, we do it brand agnostic education. So we don't. It's not product demos. It's not. And listen, there's absolutely a place for manufacturer product demos and manufacturer specific product education. That's a thing that's needed for sure. But I think it should rest on a platform in the lighting professional of education that's not related to brand specific stuff. And when you're delivering your education, how do you go about kind of peeling that stuff out, or you guys have a body of work that you go back to?
Well, everything we do is custom, but I mean that doesn't mean we don't have a template,
Hmm.
right? So I mean there are certain aspects if you're going into education. It's a lot education in anything, but education in lighting specifically. You need to know two things. You need to know where they are, and you need to know where they want to go, and then you try to find the path in order for them to go.
No, one of the and you would know better than us here, Tom, because that was one of your past jobs. But actually, education centers at manufacturers, are there any left where you can actually physically
There
go somewhere?
there are fewer and fewer all the time. There's one. Cooper has theirs, the source down in I think it's Peachtree. It's
Hmm.
definitely down in Georgia. Most of them, the other ones are gone. Signify's closed up all of theirs. I mean, they still have education. Organizations still have education, but it's more based on product education. And what they'll do is they'll bring people into an area that is not necessarily an education facility, but it's more like a showroom, and then they'll be able to educate there. So there's still a number of those places in North America.
See, that's what I miss, and I mean, I know it's a little old school. You can do online stuff. You can skip all you want when you're sitting online. You can multitask like I would. If I had a PowerPoint going, I wouldn't be paying attention. I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, that, doing whatever, that. But when you're on site, it's a totally different deal, and I think that's where a big part of the downfall, to some degree, of some of the lighting negativity that has come is there isn't anybody doing that. I remember, Mike and I have talked about in the past. I went to Nela Park. You go to GE, they have a course that's on the basics of lighting. Sure, they're going to say, here's our GE fixture and here's our GE light bulb, but it's the basics that everybody knows and everybody should know. And that's part that I think lighting is missing. And, maybe other industries in general that, well, everything goes more online, but I really truly enjoyed it and I miss it.
Yeah, well, the one thing I mean, like to your point, to make your point, um, online, on demand education is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. The outreach is incredible. You can't outreach that in person, right? So you're reaching out to a ton of people. It's flexible, so people can watch it whenever they want to. The problem that I have, and a lot of educators in lighting have, is that you can't get any depth of education online. You can get a breadth of education, but in order to get a depth of education, you have to dig a little bit deeper. You have to meet with people and like come up with some kind of suggest or an idea and argue it and do that. And that's how you learn, right? And you can have applied learning. So online, I love online education. It's great for breadth. It's horrible for depth.
Mhm.
Whereas in
Hmm.
person is perfect. It is what you need for depth to understand, to ask the questions that you have. You can't stop a computer in the middle of a presentation and say, "Hey, I didn't get this."
Yeah,
Right.
it's not one or the other. I think
No,
there.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, like the video on demand has a place, live online has a place, and in person is definitely the most powerful. That's for sure. We did it. We saw it with our lighting control certification that Webster Marsh, a member of the Lighting Agora,
Yeah,
um,
like Agora.
just put on with Nailed at Lightovation in June. And so,
And I bet it went amazing.
yes.
I bet it went amazingly.
And
Yeah, yeah, he's very.
we had a little bit less attendees than we thought initially we wanted, but it ended up being the right amount. I think it was 21 people came to the course, and that was kind of about the right size. And for people, everybody to feel like it was big enough, but not too big that you can't ask a question and stuff like that. So the size of the course of the class matters as well. But do we have too much change in lighting, Tom? Like, is it like, can we stop the change?
Well, the change is slowing down, but I mean, there's geopolitical aspects now that weren't necessarily part of. I do not want to get into that at all. It's not my place. So, but there's all these intangibles and issues, and all you need to do is walk into a Home Depot and look along the lighting. And I know that you're a competitor, but right, but look along those lighting aisles of the DIYs, and you look at all of these mom and pops and whomever just staring at the lamps, right, or bulbs, as some people call them. They're staring at them, going, "I haven't got a clue what to get."
I don't buy LEDs because they're too white. Like, this is the kind of stuff you.
Yes, exactly, and that's the problem. When people say that they hated compact fluorescent, that's because they bought lousy compact fluorescent.
Sure.
The great compact fluorescents were nice. I mean, they didn't give you sparkle or anything, but a high quality compact fluorescent gave a really sweet little diffused light. But people didn't buy that, so compact fluorescents got this horrible stigma of being bad lighting. And if we don't do education properly, people are going to do the same thing with LEDs. Like, I don't want LEDs because they're too blue, right? You hear that all the time. And what I'm hearing is, I don't know what I'm talking about. So they need to have some kind of education.
Yeah. I think there's no question about that. Is there anything you can share new that you guys are planning or you're in the works of, or is it keep moving forward with Lighting Agora?
Well, for the fourth year, the Lighting Agora is proud to be hosting the IES LC study group. And there was a question. Yeah, there was a question about the LC study group. Like, is the NCQLP, is the LC still important? About 2 years ago, that's what you saw on LinkedIn. Left, right, and center, you saw that in LinkedIn. And the LC study group. So this isn't the number of people who are applying to write the exam, which would be higher than the numbers I'm going to give you. But last year, there were 135 people in our study group. This year, it took a downturn. We're 133. So that's 268 people wanting to get, maybe there's overlap, right? But let's say 250 people that want to get their LC credential. And the LC credential, Randy Burkett had said it better than anyone I've ever heard. And he says the LC gives you a level of credibility. And that's what it is. It's a level of credibility. When you have an LC apart from beside your name, it means you have a certain level of knowledge in lighting. And 250 people writing the exam over 2 years, that's pretty amazing.
I think that's amazing.
You're changing the LC to that.
Level of credibility.
Level of credibility.
LC?
Oh, holy cow! I didn't even. You know what? I've been saying that since 2019, 2018, and it never dawned on me.
Well, a lot of people forget. A lot of people forget that correct me if I'm wrong here, Tom. You might know this better than me, but I think all the lighting associations, including Nailed, came together to create the LC and NCQLP. And I know that Paul Hafner built LS1 and LS2 as a path to the LC.
Right.
And I think it was a bunch of different, I think, if I remember correctly, I think Nailed donated to the initial NCQLP setup, or funded it, or paid Paul to do it, or something like that, to be a part of creating it. So the industry, it's not one, like LS, Lighting Specialist, you have, NALMCO has its, I can't remember what the acronym for but they have their own education, and different associations.
LSC, don't you?
What's
you
that?
You guys have an LSC. Don't you have an LSC also? What's your controls?
We had an LSC, but it's now called Lighting Specialist and Controls, LSC. Yeah, that's the new one. But these are all geared to go towards the LC. The LC is the end destination of all of NAILD's educational programming. We don't want to replace it at all. We think it is the level of credibility. So I think a return of the importance of the LC could not be welcomed more by the lighting industry, Tom.
I agree. I agree entirely. Yeah.
And I think they should put you in charge of the whole thing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of busy, but I mean, I would do it. I mean, like if I got an offer from the NCQLP to help them, I would jump at it in a moment. I mean, my life is to my goal is to educate as many people as possible, right? So that's what I want to do. So if I can help in any way, that's great.
Yeah, those numbers are actually better than I would assume for just a prep course. Again, as
Yeah,
you said,
a lot of people don't know
a
that.
lot more people. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really. I took one myself before I did LC, and highly recommend it for anybody listening. Do it. You know, do the prep course, pass the thing, maintain it. It'll make sense for you.
Yeah. And not everybody needs to be an LC, right? I mean,
Right.
you don't necessarily need to be an LC, but if you're talking to specifiers, it's probably good that you at least have that knowledge, that base of knowledge. And the LC, you don't have to explain to them you have the base of knowledge. It says so right on your business card.
All right. So let's move on to your big show here, the Canada Light Expo. What do you got going there?
Well, it's not my big show, but it's Mex International's big show, and I'm super stoked and proud to be part of it. Last year was the first year, so this Canada Light Expo. It's November 12th and 13th in Toronto, near the airport area. And last year was the first year. We had I was taken on to do the educational track. I thought the educational track last year was exceptional. It was over three days, so we were able to space it out. We had one social luncheon, so that was good. But it was obviously the first year, right? I mean, there are all sorts of things you can walk and you go, yeah, okay, yeah. A lot of the big guys didn't attend. A lot of locals didn't attend because we didn't have the penetration into the local market to get to sell booths for locals. Where this year we've sold over 80 booths, which is 2.5 times what we sold all of last year. And we've got the big names. We've got all the big agents there. Anybody who's local who wants to get a booth, please let us know. Get a grip. You guys had a booth last year. You're going to have one again?
You know, we're in negotiations with the organizers of the show. I mean, listen, you remember? I don't know if you ever saw an interview with John Lennon. So John Lennon was in Toronto.
Yeah, almost all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was this interview of him, and when he put the billboard up on the Gardiner Expressway, peace or something like that.
Yeah, war is over if you want it.
If you want it.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing him, and he was doing his work. He had that sleep in Montreal. It was around all that time with Yoko. And I'm not bitter against Yoko. I know a lot of people are really bitter against Yoko, but I think she's a bad singer. That's all. But
she's not a great singer.
No, that's really bad. But the Plastic Ono band was a mistake. But yes.
But the talent on the Plastic Ono band is incredible. If you take a look at the musicians in the Plastic Ono band, it's like, whoa.
Except the music is really bad. But anyway, John Lennon was being interviewed, and they said, hey, why don't you bring the Beatles over for this concert? And, we can have a big concert with the Beatles about ending war and all this kind of stuff. And he said, yeah, but I can't do a good British accent, but the Beatles got to get paid. If they're going to come over here, they're going to want to get paid. I'll be here, but if you want them all to come over, you're going to have to get paid. So I told him, Greg's not going to come to Canada Light Expo for nothing. But I'll be there. So you'll have Mike, you'll have half of Get a Grip on Lighting.
Yeah.
You'll have half of Get a Grip on Lighting. So, and maybe
half of the Lighting Controls podcast.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
like, Webster will be there. I'll be there. We're hoping to set up the live stream booth again and welcome all of
Yeah.
our friends and colleagues in lighting to share their thoughts about the show and what's happening in lighting. So, very excited. Americans, you know what? There's a lot of Americans that are closer to Toronto than they are to Las Vegas, New York, or Dallas, or these other centers that host shows. So, come on up as well. We always love you guys to come up and see us. We love our American brothers and sisters. So, come on up. Tom, any
Yes.
final thoughts for the Get a Grip on Lighting listeners for your 10,000th time on the show?
I don't think it's 10,000, but it's probably close to 8. But
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, it might be 7, 8. I'm not 100% sure. I do want to mention a few things about the Canada Light Expo.
Sure.
The networking event that we had last year went over very well. So this year we have 4 networking events over 2 days. So we have 2 luncheons, which there'll be panels involved in the luncheons. On the Wednesday, there's an Aredo panel, taking all the people from Aredo with some of the IALD designers. They're going to be discussing how they work together. The second day, the luncheon is going to be how is AI affecting your job? Basically, that's not the title, but we'll have an AI disruption specialist, Peter Brown. I think you know Peter. So Peter's coming, and then we have 2 specifiers on that panel. We have a really fun Lovers of Light event in the evening on the Wednesday. So you guys are smiling because I think you had it at your conference, right?
Sure.
So the Lovers of Light Lovers of Light. It'll be a networking session on the early Wednesday evening, starting at 6. And then this is the big surprise: is the following day we're going to have a workshop put on by the people at All Things Lighting Association. So All Things Lighting Association is an organization of individuals who are friends of Ian Ashdown from Sun Tracker. And they put people from Dark Sky Society, FIRES, right, the Forum for Illumination Research, Engineering, and Science. They're all part of it. And they're going to put on a morning breakfast networking event and workshop. So that's on the Thursday morning. And so we're opening at 8 on the Thursday. Really exciting stuff. Booths are filled up. We've got fabulous presenters again. And we've got 4 different networking sessions.
The late but great Ian Ashdown. What a guy that guy was. Holy man.
Well, we're talking about a lot of great people, late great. I mean, yes. Paul Hafner.
Sure.
I teach, Dan Blitzer teaches distributors, presents to distributors well. I present to distributors well. You need to present to people with what they need to know. You don't. Sure. They don't care what you need to know. You need to give them the knowledge that they need. And Dan and I think, are really good, but Paul Hafner is.
That's the legend. Hafner. That's the standard.
He's way up. I mean, yeah, he's. Yeah, I don't want to say talk. I mean, I'll put me against him presenting the engineers, but man, as distributors, that's his niche. He was so amazing at it. He was so good. You still hear it today, like it was, yeah.
Like today, like literally today. God bless exactly. Paul Hafner and Ian Ashdown. Rest in peace, my friends and colleagues and mentors. And of course, Greg, we got to talk about Baron LTG and their Exitronics. Remember, folks, Baron is one of those companies that has sub-brands, and Exitronics is one of them, Greg.
And that's their Guardian G3 system within it, which allows you to remotely monitor and report on your exit and emergency lighting. You don't want to have to go up to it and push a button every time you want to test it. Let the system do it remotely.
Go to baronltg.com and check out their line of Exitronics. And of course, do you have light bulbs in a warehouse? Come on, man. Do you have light bulbs in a warehouse? Light fixtures in a warehouse? Do you sell them over the counter? Do you sell them online? You sold them on Amazon too, did you? Well, then that means that you should be a member of the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. Yes, it's an American association, but I'm a Canuck, and I joined, and I love it. I've been a member for 20 years, something like that. Yeah, 20 years. 20 years. And, yeah, so if you got light bulbs in the warehouse, nailed.org. Our convention's coming up September 22nd. The 24th. We could probably squeeze you in. It depends if we have a special guest coming or not, Greg. We have that special guest come. It's going to be busy. We don't know if she's going to make it, though, if she'll accept the invitation. But we'll see.
Try.
Uh-huh.
Go
to naild.org. Thanks for listening.